Hey, in this video I would like to tell you what additional equipment it's worth buying for your camera. So let's assume that you've got a DSLR camera. For compact cameras you can buy some equipment sometimes, but not very often, so I'm not gonna discuss it now. If you want, you can check eBay or Amazon or other places using Google whether there is something that you can buy for your camera, even if your manufacturer doesn't recommend that or doesn't know about it. So go and look for places. For example, for those cameras you can buy various extensions for compact cameras and other things. So it's up to you. Now for those cameras I recommend a few things. First of all, I would say buy a polarizing filter. What it does, that's the only filter that cannot be emulated by any Photoshop, any special effects. What it does, it removes reflections from water and from glass. So you might have some sun reflection, light reflections, and if you turn it slightly it changes the type of light that goes through. Also it's very good for taking photos of clouds and sky. It changes the color of the sky and of clouds, and again if you turn it slightly the effect changes, so it's brilliant. I would say use it. It's called circular polarizing filter. It's usually abbreviated as CPL. Again, make sure that the size of it is the right for the lens you have. So this one is 62 millimeters, and this lens is also 62 millimeters. I'm talking about the thread at the front. Yeah. So polarizing filter is one thing that I recommend you buy. The other thing is flash, dedicated flash. If you can afford and buy one, you can buy second-hand flash for really cheaply, 20-30 pounds. You don't need anything fancy. It's good when your flash has so-called swivel, so you can move this thing in this way. This one doesn't have a swivel, it can only move this way, but it has a zoom, so I can focus it more or less depending how I want. If you buy a flash, obviously you could buy also a softbox. For example, a small softbox like this costs £10. So what it does, it diffuses light more. So the light is more evenly distributed. You place the softbox or any other diffuser on the camera like this. Obviously I'm not prepared for this presentation. And it diffuses light, so things are more evenly lit. It's really helpful, it's really good. So have the flash and the diffuser. You can also use this diffuser or softbox with this flash. Simply put it here and it still works. It works really well. So if you take photos of somebody from a close distance and it's too dark and you need to use flash, but you are too close to the person and the person is too bright, you can use a diffuser to make the light a bit weaker and more evenly distributed. You can also buy this type of a diffuser, so you can also place it on your flash here, just a piece of material, special material, or again you can put it on dedicated flash gun like this, and it's also quite a good diffuser. However, the softbox, which is this thing, is a little bit better. What you can do, you can also take a plastic bottle, milk bottle. When you empty it, obviously, you can cut out the diffuser and create a diffuser softbox like this from the milk bottle, plastic milk bottle. For extreme macro photography, you can buy extension rings which you put between the lens and the camera. What it does, it increases the focal length, and it allows you to take really good close-ups, so you can have even 2:1 or 3:1 macro photography, or even bigger. That's what you use those rings for. These are just rings, there is nothing fancy about them. You can buy a more expensive version of rings with actually electronic elements that will allow you to connect your lens to the camera. But I don't think it makes sense because the difference in the price is enormous, so just buy those and you should be fine. Tripod. Tripods come in different sizes and shapes, obviously. Now if you Don't use tripod very often, you know, any tripod will do. However, if you're thinking about really good tripod, you need to invest around £100, 80 pounds. Good tripod will have metal part. Metal is good because it doesn't shake. This one is quite loose, made of plastic, so if your camera takes photo, it shakes together with the camera. So if you're taking long time exposures, you lose the effect. Still things will be blurred, right? So if you're thinking about, you know, taking a lot of macro photography, invest into a good tripod with metal parts. Also, if you extend the tripod, it becomes really shaky. So again, before you buy a tripod, make sure that it doesn't shake. Well, I can use the screw here to actually make it stable, and it's more stable. However, you need a good quality because it will be shaking here. If it's made of plastic, usually it will be shaking at the top anyway. So you don't want that, frankly speaking. So invest into good metal made tripod. How about bags? Well, if you want to carry a lot of equipment with you, you can get a bigger bag, something like this, for example, with some additional pockets. For example, what I carry here with me is something for cleaning lenses. So there is a tip here and a brush at the other end. I can also use it for cleaning the sensor. You know, in your digital SLR camera, the sensor gets dirty, so you can clean it. You can also use something like this. There's a blower in it as well to clean the sensor. Spare battery, that's a must. I'm keeping it in a plastic bag. Spare battery is a must for a DSLR. But normally I carry with me just a small bag like this, and I put my camera in it like that. I need to turn the hood around for that purpose, because otherwise it will not fit. So I install the hood like this, put it in, and that's how I carry my camera. I don't really need anything else because I've got one lens, and that's enough for most of the situations. Okay, let's see what else we have. I have a remote control. I have a mode in my camera where I can take photos with the remote control. Memory card, additional memory card can be useful. Yours can become full or might get damaged, broken. That happens sometimes. So it's good to have additional one. Before you buy a card, make sure that your camera supports the size of the card, because you might buy 8 gig card and your camera supports maybe only 2 gigs maximum. Yeah, so make sure that you check that before you buy a camera. You can also buy close-up filters, which I have. This one is close-up +4, so I can attach it to this lens, for example, and it will give me additional magnification, which is good for macro photography. Yeah. Unfortunately, it doesn't work very well on long distances, but for macro photography, the +4 makes a difference. And I've got also star 4 filter. What it does, it creates kind of a twinkling, like a star effect, or where there are sources of light. So if you take photos at night of the city and you want to have additional twinkling, you can use star 4 filter. Quite good and not very expensive. Anything else that I might tell you about? No, I guess that will be it. Remember to use hoods with your lenses. They serve two purposes. First of all, they reduce light glares from various sides, and second of all, it's an additional protection for your lens. Yeah, bang. You can also use EV or UV filters, ultraviolet filters. They were very popular a long time ago, but now each lens has got ultraviolet filter built in. However, they are good for protecting the lens from damage, because the filter is quite cheap. If it gets broken, it costs, I don't know, 10 pounds, let's say 20 pounds max, while the lens costs, you know, 100, 200, 500, depending on the lens you buy. So a filter is also a good idea to have. However, every filter might introduce an additional vignetting or light fall off at the edges of the picture. so you might need to experiment and see if the filter does not affect the quality or the lightness. Lightness, not, it's not the best word. The brightness of the picture in the corners when you take it when you take a picture with the filter. Okay, so thank you for watching it, and I'll see you in the next video.